To West Asia now, where a new conflict is brewing. This one features Egypt. Reports say Egypt is increasing its military buildup in an area called the Sinai Peninsula. This is Egyptian land bordering Israel. Israel says it is monitoring the development. According to Israeli reports, Egypt has deployed thousands of troops to the Sinai. It is extending runways in the peninsula. It is also expanding naval docks. If true, this could have serious consequences for the region, not to mention for Egypt-Israel relations. Because the Sinai Peninsula is strategically located, historically it has been a point of friction. Let me show you a map. The Sinai is a land bridge between Africa and Asia. It connects Egypt and Israel. The Mediterranean Sea lies to the north, the Red Sea to the south, and tucked in the peninsula's west is the Suez Canal. Thousands of ships pass through here every year. The Sinai is Egyptian territory, but it has a troubled past. It has been controlled by several empires, starting with the ancient Egyptians, then the Romans, then came the Ottoman Empire and the British Empire. It was only in 1922 that Egypt regained control. 1922, that's when Egypt also gained independence from the British. And since then, the Sinai has been Egyptian territory. Now they're said to be deploying military here on what is technically their own land. So why is Israel flagging this buildup? Line between Israel and Egypt. Time for a quick history lesson again. The year is 1956. The Suez is a strategic asset. Egypt decides to nationalize the Suez Canal. The Europeans do not like it, especially the British and the French. Egypt blocks ships from using the waterway. Israel launches an attack. Britain and France support it, and Egypt loses control of the Sinai. That's when the US and Soviet Russia enter the picture. They force an Israeli withdrawal and they create a buffer zone. All of this happened in 1956. But the tensions lingered. Then in 1967, Egypt reclaimed the Sinai. This triggered another war, the Six-Day War. Israel attacked Egypt, Syria, and Jordan and took back the Sinai. But Egypt was not done. It launched another offensive in 1973. Fighting continued for several months. Finally, there was a ceasefire in 1975, and 4 years later, the United States stepped in. It brokered a peace treaty between Israel and Egypt. That's what you call the Camp David Accords. They were signed in 1979. This ended the hostilities. Israel agreed to completely withdraw from the Sinai. In return, Egypt set up formal relations with Israel. It has been 46 years since the Camp David Accords. The region has seen many wars in between, but the Sinai has been mostly out of it. In recent years, though, it's been on the edge. Egypt has battled multiple insurgencies in this peninsula. ISIS and Al-Qaeda once operated in big numbers here. They were eventually defeated with Israeli help. And that brings us to today. Israel's war in Gaza is adding to the pressure. Sinai is vital for sending aid into Gaza, but Israel's war on Hamas continues. Israeli troops remain deployed at the Rafah crossing. This borders the Sinai. Perhaps Egypt is preparing for a fallout in Gaza, like a mass exodus, or Hamas crossing into Egypt through underground tunnels. This would explain Egypt's military deployment, but Israel sees this as a violation of the peace treaty. The treaty allows Egyptian soldiers only up to a point in the Sinai, and even the movement of Egyptian forces is restricted. Now, Israel claims that Egypt is violating this pact